driving at night. You probably do it so often that you don't think of it as being that different from driving during the day. But statistics show that traffic death rates are 3 times higher at night than they are during the day. That's a tremendous difference, but the reason is relatively simple. We use our vision to make about 90% of our driving decisions. When our vision is reduced, so is our ability to make good driving decisions. The time we have to recognize a problem ahead is greatly reduced because we can't see that pedestrian, that construction area, or that animal going across the road as easily or as quickly as we could in the daytime. In this program, we're going to address these problems and other potential hazards that come with driving at night. So, where do we start? Well, first, safe night driving doesn't start when you get behind the wheel. It starts before you even get in the car. Before any trip, whether it's day or night, you should do a walk-around inspection of your vehicle. Make sure your lights, mirrors, and windows are clean. Be sure your windshield wipers are in good condition. Make sure your tires are properly inflated and have plenty of tread. Check to see that there aren't any obstacles in your path that can't be seen from inside the car. For longer trips, it's a good idea to check the oil, water, and transmission fluid levels. Even though this sounds like a lot to do, it's really just a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. Those couple of minutes could save you a couple of hours worth of trouble and perhaps prevent an accident. Once you're inside the car, check the headlights, both low beam and high beam, the turn signals, and the windshield wipers. You don't want to find out these aren't working once you're on the road. Equally important before you get on the road is to have an emergency kit. This is especially important for night driving, when other vehicles will have difficulty seeing you if you're broken down on the side of the road, or worse, in the middle of the road. A roadside emergency kit should include a flashlight, signaling devices like reflective triangles, flares, or flashing lights, jumper cables, a complete first aid kit. Make sure you're familiar with its contents and how to use them. A flat tire inflator and sealer. You'll need to read the label to see how to use it safely. An empty gas can. It needs to be empty to prevent an explosion in the case of an accident. Matches or a lighter. A brightly colored cloth that can be tied to your antenna to signal that you need assistance. And a pocket knife. And of course, every vehicle should have a spare tire, jack, and tire iron. These are the essentials that should be in an emergency kit. But of course, you don't have to stop there. There are many other items you could keep in your emergency kit. For example, you might want to consider a jug of water, fluids for your car, a fire extinguisher, a fluorescent safety vest, and depending on the weather you're expecting, you could also carry weather-related items like gloves, a blanket, snow chains, an umbrella or poncho. As you can see, you can be as prepared as you want to be. You have to use your own judgment and determine what will make you feel most secure. Okay, so you've done a quick walk-around inspection. You've tested the lights and wipers, and you've got your emergency kit. You're ready to go. Make sure your seatbelt's buckled. If you have an automatic seatbelt, make sure you fasten your lap belt too. Lock the doors, and you're on your way. You should begin to follow the procedures for safe night driving at dusk. Dusk and dawn are the most difficult times to drive because at these times the sky is bright, but the ground is dark. This means that your eyes are constantly trying to adjust. You should have your headlights on at these times, even if they don't help you see, because they will help other drivers see you. The most important rule of night driving is to not overdrive your headlights. This means you need to be able to stop within the distance illuminated by your lights. In well-lit areas, street lights and lights from buildings give you a greater field of vision. But in places without extra light, you are solely dependent on seeing what's in the area illuminated by your headlights. With low beams on, this distance is about 160 feet. High beams illuminate the area about 500 feet in front of your vehicle. Here's an illustration of how limited your options are when you have to rely solely on your headlights for illumination. There are three terms you need to know. Reaction distance. That's the distance you travel after your brain recognizes that you have to stop and before you can get your foot to the brake. For most drivers, this takes about 1.5 seconds. Braking distance. This is how far your vehicle travels after the brakes have been applied and you come to a complete stop. It's determined by your speed, road conditions, and other factors. Stopping distance is the total of reaction distance plus braking distance. That is, the distance your vehicle moves from the moment you become aware of the need to stop until it actually is stopped. Say you're driving at 35 miles per hour in an area without additional light. You have your low beams on so you can see ahead for approximately 160 feet. At 35 miles per hour, you're traveling just over 50 feet per second. There's an object in the middle of the road right here, but you can't see it until your headlights illuminate it 160 feet in front of you. Okay, here we go. You see the object now and realize that you have to stop, but are not able to apply the brakes until now. The blue area indicates your reaction distance, how far you traveled before your foot reached the brake. The yellow area represents your braking distance, how far the car traveled after your foot hit the brake before it came to a complete stop. Adding together your reaction distance and your braking distance gives you your total stopping distance, which was just over 143 feet. Now remember, you became aware of the object when it was only 160 feet away because of your headlight range. And it took you 143 feet to come to a complete stop. You had only 16.5 feet to spare. That was going only 35 miles per hour. Had you been driving faster, or had the road conditions not been perfect, you would have struck the object. For example, if you had been traveling at only 40 miles per hour, you would have traveled 29 feet beyond the object before coming to a complete stop. At 50 miles per hour, you would have stopped here, 108 feet beyond the object. So what you need to do is take steps to give yourself enough stopping distance. First, you can reduce your speed. The slower you're going, the shorter both your reaction distance and braking distance will be. Remember, it's okay to go below the posted speed limit. If you're uncomfortable with your speed, slow down. Next, keep your eyes scanning back and forth across the road. Visual alertness is critical because the earlier you spot potential danger, the easier it will be for you to avoid it. The last thing you can do is to use your high beams when possible. High beams will illuminate an area of up to 500 feet ahead of you. That's 3 times the distance with low beams, which will allow you to safely drive at a higher speed. Keep in mind there are safety concerns with the use of high beams also. You don't want to have your high beams on if there is a car in front of you, and never shine your high beams at an oncoming vehicle, not even to alert them that their high beams are on. Using your high beams can temporarily blind another driver because their eyes will have to readjust to the darkness after looking at the bright light. If an oncoming vehicle has its brights on, try to concentrate on the right edge of your lane. You should even avoid looking directly at the low beams of an oncoming car. If the car's lights behind you are reflecting from the rearview mirror into your eyes, flip the mirror to its night setting. Here are a few more tips. Keep your dash lights low so your eyes won't adjust to their bright light. As we mentioned during the walk-around inspection, clean windshields, both inside and out, are important for safe night driving. Sometimes windows that seem fine during the day can be almost impossible to see out of at night because of the glare from other lights. Because our visibility is so greatly reduced at night, doing any type of activity that might distract us from driving is especially dangerous. Doing things like talking on a cell phone, eating, changing the radio or temperature, or putting on makeup are all potentially accident-causing behaviors. Remember the examples we looked at earlier about reaction distance and braking distance. Imagine how far your vehicle would travel in the second or two you're distracted by doing any one of the things just mentioned. If you have to do something that will take your attention from the road, pull over in a safe area to do it. Drowsiness is another common driving hazard that is intensified at night. When you're tired, your ability to concentrate is impaired. You're less alert. You've probably heard lots of different recommendations, from drinking coffee to rolling the windows down to turning up the radio and playing some upbeat music. While each of these things may offer you some temporary relief, the truth is that's all they are: temporary. The only real remedy for drowsiness is sleep. If you feel yourself drifting off while you're driving, if your eyelids keep wanting to close, you owe it to yourself and to others on the road to stop at a hotel or other safe area to get some sleep. Even a short nap can refresh you much more than any of the other temporary remedies. If you're going to be driving for a long time, make frequent stops to get out and walk around. Light snacks can also help prevent the onset of fatigue. We all know the dangers of drinking and driving. Being under the influence significantly reduces your reaction time and ability to make good decisions. In addition, even a small amount of alcohol can bring on fatigue. Smoking is not advisable either. The nicotine and carbon monoxide in cigarette smoke can hamper night vision. Last but not least, wearing sunglasses or tinted glasses at night will limit your vision too. There's always the potential for danger if your vehicle breaks down, but it's especially true at night, when other drivers will have difficulty seeing you. If your car breaks down, you need to turn on your hazard lights and get off to the side of the road, out of the way of traffic. Turn off your regular lights so other drivers won't think that you're still part of the flow of traffic. Exercising extreme caution, put out reflectors, flashing lights, or flares about 10 feet in front of and behind your vehicle. You also want to put a reflective device about 100 feet behind you. If traffic will be coming over a hill or around a curve before they can see you, put a reflective device on the other side of the hill or curve to give them some advance warning. If you have a cell phone, call for help. Raising your hood and tying a brightly colored cloth to your antenna will signal law enforcement or emergency vehicles that you need assistance. Emergency vehicles have routes that they patrol regularly, so sit tight in your vehicle with the doors locked and your seatbelt on and wait for help to arrive. Only as a last resort should you travel on foot in an unfamiliar area to find assistance. Other traffic will have a difficult time seeing you, and you could be putting yourself in a dangerous situation. If you're involved in an accident at night, you should follow the same rules for breakdowns to make sure other drivers can see you and any other vehicles involved in the accident. Then, make sure you follow standard accident procedures: treating the injured, notifying the authorities, documenting the accident scene, and getting the names and numbers of any witnesses. Now let's take a look at some regular maintenance you can have done to your vehicle that will make night driving safer. Periodically check to be sure your headlights are properly aligned. This will make sure you're seeing as much as you can on the road ahead. It will also prevent you from unknowingly blinding other drivers. Making sure your tires are in good shape with plenty of tread and that your brakes are in excellent condition will really help you stop quickly. Replacing worn-out windshield wipers and having plenty of wiper fluid will keep your windshield clear and help you with your most valuable asset for night driving: your vision. So let's review. First of all, prevention is the best policy. So always do a quick walk-around inspection before any trip, and a more detailed inspection before longer trips. Make sure you have a well-equipped emergency kit. Second, accept the fact that when driving at night, your vision is severely limited, and so is that of all the other drivers on the road. Don't overdrive your headlights. You should be able to stop safely inside the area illuminated by your headlights. You need to protect your vision by not looking directly at other lights. Maximize your vision by staying alert. Use discipline for those factors that are under your control. Don't let yourself get distracted. Don't drink when you'll be driving. Don't smoke while you drive. Don't drive if you're tired. In case of a breakdown or accident, remember that your personal safety comes first. Don't take any risks. Make sure other traffic is aware of you and your vehicle. Signal for help and wait for the authorities. Finally, keep your vehicle maintained regularly. Driving at night dramatically increases our chances of being in an accident. But if we prepare ourselves for the things that are outside our control and manage the things that are under our control, we can all make driving at night a safer thing to do.